Manchester United won, Fulham won, but Fulham who advanced 4-3 on penalties. New low for United, Craig?
Well, what happened?
What happened was...
I mean, I know they've gone out on penalties, but I've actually subconsciously forgotten.
But this isn't where Leno stood on his head, made lots of saves, that United were unfortunate to be on the losing side. This is where two really poor teams went head to head.
I wouldn't say a new low, I'd say another low. I've seen them play worse. There's just another low.
Yeah.
Another low of a youngster in Obi coming on and being better than big money signings. Another low of the lack of creativity. I suppose on another side, De Ligt had a better game, defended better. But this is where they are.
Yeah.
Sort of 15th in the league, out of all the cup competitions. They're still in the Europa League, which somehow they are one of the favourites for. And Fulham are through today, and this wasn't the true Fulham either.
No.
They didn't play well, but they just did enough and then to win in penalties.
I'm a little bit more surprised at how Fulham played, to be honest with you, because the way Man United play isn't really a surprise.
No.
They are exactly what they are. I expected Fulham to come here and play better football.
Yeah.
You know.
But it's Fulham who advance. I just want to go to the touchline now and join...
The summer that they had, there is absolutely no doubt what Man United did in the summer from the end of May, so they had basically the whole of June, July and best part of August before the season started to make an early decision, a decision that we all knew was inevitable, was to fire Erik ten Hag, a man who clearly wasn't cutting it. He did win the FA Cup, blah, blah, blah. That's a very short-term view. But not only did they keep him, they went out and splurged a couple of $100 million on players, more players. And I feel like I'm repeating myself, but on more players that this new manager now has to try and get out. These mistakes they're just systemic of the bad management, Stevie, at this club.
Amorim's paying the price for that, isn't he? Amorim's the man that's paying the price for that, for those poor decisions. And he was forced to come in at probably the worst time for any coach to come into any team, never mind Manchester United, with what's expected of Manchester United. So Amorim right now is paying for those mistakes. I would, however, say that I'm beginning to change. I was behind Amorim in the way that he was playing. You know, try to teach them this is how I play, this is how I want to play. But he has to start thinking a little bit about himself now, because he's getting into the stage of it's getting embarrassing and people are questioning his ability as a coach. I think he has to change the way they play and do whatever you got to do to get results.
But to what end?
He won't.
To get some sort of respectability.
Mark made the point, you've got a squad full of players that know they're at the end. They know that Amorim doesn't want them. They know they're going to be trying to find an exit.
You've got to find a way, Dan. When you're the coach...
With who? With what?
But you have to find a way. You have to find a way. And if it means you change the shape and you put them in a different shape and you make teams go all the way outside them, you don't come through the middle of us, you've got to do whatever you've got to do to get results. Because now it's getting embarrassing. Every time we come on air to talk about United, we are just throwing mud at them because they're so bad. And at the end of the day, Amorim's the coach and he has to get results. And you have to do what you've got to do to get them. It's one thing to be in a position where you can look to the future and you can try and build a culture of this is how we play and this is how I play. But it's now at the stage where it's about, it doesn't matter how you play, it's about getting results.
You look at Man City though, they're having a bad time.
Stevie,
they're going out, they're going out and play, they're spending money in January, they're probably going to spend again. Oggy touched on it before the game. United's financial scenario with all the profit and sustainability, amongst other things, they don't have that ability to go out and spend unless they sell a bunch of players. Now, Amorim's talking about the future and how they're going to restructure in the summer. Bruno Fernandes apart, who's going to buy, unless they're selling them for a song, who's going to buy any of these United players? Who's going to turn up and say, I'll give you 40 million for him, 60 million for him, 70 million for him? It's not. It's like, we'll take him for free, we'll take him on a loan, we'll pay his wages for 6 months or a year, we'll give you 10 million. They're not going to be able to generate the cash.
Sarah Mulcairns with Ruben Amorim. Well, Ruben, firstly, how difficult is that loss to take?
Yeah, it's hard. We managed
to score in the second half after that goal in set pieces near the half time, and then it's harder for us to go and press a little bit high, but we managed to do it. We score. I think we had the best chances in the game. Sometimes we drop a little bit the lines to be comfortable, but in the end the penalties can go both ways, and today was not our day.
You made a lot of changes, but your bench was depleted. Did you feel you had enough from the team to get you through the 90 and then extra time and penalties?
It's important to say that with the substitutions we had our chance to win the game. We were compact. We fight for the game, and that is the most important thing.
And why do you think those chances aren't coming off for your players up front?
I think we are better in the first ball and the second ball, and then Garna sometimes is not in the right position to defend, but in the perfect position for transition, and we know that, and try to use that. And I think it's also sometimes the quality of the players. Bruno, also Casemiro, Josh is improving a lot. The connection, is fighting for every ball. It's running all the pitch. So it's the quality of the players that help us to create more chances.
And how do you cope when something goes to penalties? What do you do from the sideline when sometimes it's a toss of a coin, isn't it?
I try to relax the players, and they know that we need to is something that is technical, but also is the moment. You have to be relaxed, confident, and is that we try to do before the penalties.
And look, it's been a tough start to your Manchester United managerial career. What does this loss and going out of the FA Cup, and as holders in particular, what do you think that does to this team?
The goal is to win the Premier League. So I know that we are losing games and losing trophies during this season, but the goal is to win the Premier League again. I don't know how long it's going to take, but that is our goal. If you think like that, we can suffer a little bit in these defeats, a lot sometimes, but we have a goal, so we continue to, no matter what, you continue forward.
Do you sense from the first 3 months, do you have a sense on how long that might take?
No, it's impossible to know, but you start understanding. I think the players are better. We understand better the league. We know what to do with the squad, what is the future, and we'll see in the future.
And then finally, even more importance on that trip in Europe this week?
Yes, it's really important, but we have to recover the players, try to push for the other players that are out. Because like you saw today, they were really tired, and then we have in 3 days to a game, then again here at Old Trafford against Arsenal 2 days after. So we have to cope with that. Just a lot of videos, recovery, and we will be ready for the game.
I appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
We're really having Premier League discussions here.
He can't believe anything he just said.
No.
He can't believe his players are getting better.
And reporters asking how long do you think that is going to take? I mean, really, we're in moo-moo land here. We really are in moo-moo land. They're 15th in the Premier League, one of the worst teams in the Premier League. It's one of the worst teams in United's history. It's almost like, trying to get a baby to ride a bike and run before it can even sit up. I mean, we're miles and miles and miles away from any of that. This is a club that are laying low-level, minimum wage staff off. It's so desperate behind the scenes. So he seems like a nice guy. I think he's come in, he's over his head. Right, Sporting Lisbon, fine. Portugal, fine. This job is just a humongous job, and it's not his mess, but he's got the mess. Yeah. And I think at the moment he's just struggling to come up with anything that's tangible and sensible about how we can move forward, and how, Xerxes is getting better and the spaces are getting better and Casemiro, and I mean, it's frustrating to listen to. I think he wishes, I bet he wishes he'd sat down, thought about it longer, and known what he was getting into. He probably wouldn't have taken this job because it stinks.
Okay.
All right, Reds, let's talk. Manchester United crashed out of the FA Cup after a penalty shootout loss to Fulham at Old Trafford. Another low? Absolutely. A new low? Maybe not. But it's yet another reminder of just how far this club has fallen. The performance was flat, uninspired, and lacked the fight you'd expect in a cup tie. Craig Burley didn't hold back on ESPN FC, questioning whether Ruben Amorim has actually made United worse since taking charge. So let's break it down. Has Amorim taken on a job that's simply too big for him? Before we dive in, make sure. You hit that subscribe button for all the latest United news, breakdowns, and reactions. We're here to talk real football, real issues, no sugarcoating. So join the conversation and be part of the debate. Now, back to the mess at Old Trafford. Amorim's side showed the same problems that have haunted United all season. No clear style of play, lack of urgency, and players who look lost. There's been talk about progress and getting better, but let's be real. United are currently 15th in the league, out of every domestic cup, and banking on the Europa League to salvage something from this disaster of a season. That's if they even win it, which, let's be honest, seems unlikely. Burley's criticism is blunt but fair. United are miles away from competing, and Amorim looks out of his depth. He was a rising star at Sporting Lisbon, but this is a whole different beast. The job was already a mess when he arrived, but right now, nothing he's done suggests he's turning it around. The squad lacks direction, the tactics are questionable, and the boardroom chaos isn't helping. Amorim might have had ambitions of rebuilding United into a title-winning side, but right now, just finishing in the top half would be an achievement. And then there's the issue of clearing out deadwood in the summer. Who's going to buy the high-wage, underperforming players? Rashford, Casemiro, Antony? Who's paying their salaries? The club's financial struggles are about to hit hard if they miss out on European football. Amorim is talking about suffering before things get better, but how long can United afford to suffer? So let's hear it from you. Has Ruben Amorim made Manchester United worse, or is he just the latest victim of this club's dysfunction? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's get the debate going. Glory, glory Man United, but when will the glory actually return?